Okay, guys, welcome to the WAN show. Hopefully there are no technical difficulties today because we're live without doing a test stream.
I love how Twitch didn't tell their biggest partner that they now have YouTube integration. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Oh, right. I thought you meant their biggest partner in general, but you mean in terms of their YouTube...
Their network.
Their YouTube network,
Their biggest YouTube network didn't know that they now have YouTube integration with Twitch.
Yeah, well...
Yeah!
I think they've got, you know, other things to deal with. You know, I don't feel too bad about it. Anyway, guys, welcome to the WAN show. We've got a fantastic show planned for you today, as we always do. Every show is great. The part that I lied about was the planning. I don't even have the document up on my computer yet. You tell them about the show.
We have just general discontent for Ubisoft.
Discontent?
I said the wrong word.
We're just going to invent words because there are no words for how dissatisfied we are.
There we go.
With how Ubisoft is treating PC gamers.
Disintent. I am full of disintent.
They're full of disintent. Their disintentions are discombobulating my dysentery, and...
I love how you're taking real words.
We just got dissed.
Surrounding them with fake ones. And EA might not suck as much anymore, but they haven't made that an actionable item yet. So
what are you even talking about?
They haven't done anything with it. They're just like, yeah, they're pulling the Microsoft thing.
They're pulling the Microsoft thing.
We're gonna support PC gaming. Sometime.
But EA's never actually gone that far before. So this is still a step in the right direction.
That's true. Usually they're just like, screw you guys.
At least they're paying lip service to the PC gaming community.
This is true. This is true. T-Mobile Test Drive ripped off a LinusTechTips idea and will be allowing people to something tell you later. Almost went a little bit too far. And we now have a new beta for the front page of LinusTechTips.com, which you can check out.
It's sort of badass. It's like sort of the best thing ever. It was designed by me, coded by me, and all the articles were written by me. The lies just got bigger and bigger, didn't they?
If Catman's watching, he's just gonna be like, what? Are you kidding me? You mean that guy that was just constantly like, I don't like it, make it go away? He gets the credit for everything, really? No.
And that, my friend, is how corporate America works.
Kind of. Yeah. Okay. Anyways.
No, but seriously, huge big ups to Catman for being a cat and a man. It's like... Anyway, we'll talk more about that later, but for now, intro time.
Dun, dun, dun.
This thing works a little bit differently this week, so if I bung it up, don't be surprised. So they just sit there, and then check this out. I swear, I'm gonna like hit Edsel because look at, see how the background changes? Like, way to go, guy.
Winner.
Anyway, the point is that our first sponsor today is Squarespace. Get 10% off with offer code Linus, and stay tuned because later on in this very video, we will be giving away a year worth of Squarespace service. Bam!
And the Twitch chat just brought down.
And the Twitch chat just brought up. Way to go, guys. Also sponsoring the event this week are all the sponsors of HighLANder. So this is ASUS with their ROG series notebooks, Intel with their Core i7 high-performance CPUs, and Corsair, makers of the ever-popular, well, we can't call it popular if it doesn't really exist yet, but it's going to be popular.
It can be popular if it doesn't exist.
K70 RGB keyboards. Yeah, I've never seen actual physical proof that Justin Bieber exists.
But he's popular.
And he's popular, well, depending who you ask. And finally, we have an upcoming live stream. It's going to be an Ask the Expert live stream. It's coming next week. You guys are going to want to tune into that to get some pretty sweet behind-the-scenes details about how their Devil's Canyon CPUs came to be. And, hint, word to the wise, we may or may not be giving away a couple of Devil's Canyon CPUs on aforementioned stream. Are you genuinely, like, surprised? Or are you doing, like, the good co-host? This guy's crazy!
Okay.
That's amazing!
You
guys should be interested in what he's saying!
Oh my god! One, I didn't know this was happening until like 5 minutes ago when you were like, oh my god, where's the image? And I was like, apparently we need an image for this thing, which may or may not be a thing. And then now we're giving away processors on it?
That's right.
That's cool.
We're crazy.
This is legitimate, like, I actually had literally no idea.
We make snap decisions. Speaking of making snap decisions...
Are you giving away mine?
Your what?
The ones that I've been testing
Nope.
with? Okay, cool. That's
yeah, don't
good.
worry. It's all good.
I like those ones.
We got
they
new
did
ones.
well.
We got new ones. Okay, so I have the wrong document up still, so you're on point. Oh, no, here we go. All right. So the headline this week, all the fail. Ubisoft, could you have shot yourselves in the foot any better if you tried? Do you want to go through this? Well, I'll manage what they're looking at on my screen here, okay?
Sure. I don't understand how people haven't figured it out yet that don't lie to PC gamers. Gamers in general, but don't lie to PC gamers. They're gonna Gabe has a quote, like really, really good quote about don't lie to the internet because they'll figure it out. They'll plaster it everywhere, and they'll never, ever forget about it. And it's just like, what are you doing? So basically...
It all started on a misty day. Fog-covered day. With great headlight effects. Back in 2012.
2012. all the fanboys were excited.
About Watch Dogs, with its amazing graphical fidelity, being showcased on the PC.
They dreamt of nights in future days when they could spend time...
Nights in future days? Do you even listen to yourself?
When they spend time reacting to the light effects and lens flare of aforementioned Watch Dogs.
And the depth of field. And then Watch Dogs launched here in 2014.
Like total poo.
Well, total poo is unfair.
It looked like...
But what we can say is that it didn't look as good as Far Cry 3... Which is a Ubisoft title.
And old.
And not new. So, talk about this NeoGAF article that I've had sitting on my screen for a bit here. What is this?
Okay, so two different modders, CADZate24 and The Worse, I'm more familiar with the Worse, have released mods which unlock original graphics effects. To do this, they had to... It's a lot harder than I'm going to explain right now, but effectively they just turned things on. They had to find them, which was extremely difficult. They had to gain access to them, which was extremely difficult, and all that kind of stuff. But essentially, it's already there. They just had to turn it on, which is fantastically amazing and horrible at the same time. It turns on tons and tons of different effects, like... I love how Ubisoft's... I'm going to go into Ubisoft's response first.
Yeah, Ubisoft's response is classic.
So this is really long, but it goes, the dev team is completely dedicated to getting the most out of each platform. So the notion that we
haven't talked about the stuff yet. Hold on.
I want to show this and then show the improvements because they contradict themselves a little bit.
Stressing me out. Okay.
So we want to get the most out of each platform, whatever. The notion that we would actively downgrade quality is contrary to everything we've set out to achieve. We test and optimize our games for each platform on which they're released, striving for the best quality possible. I'm mixing this up a little bit. The PC version does indeed contain some old, unused render settings that were deactivated for a variety of reasons, including possible impacts on visual fidelity, stability, performance, and overall gameplay. Then it goes on to some long stuff after that. But I just wanted to show the, we deactivated it because of stability and stuff. In the patch notes for the mods, and in a lot of the reports that I've been reading from people that have tried these mods, also known as pretty much all of them, it runs smoother, it's faster, it's just as or more stable, and looks way better because they've done things like allowing E3 2012 Bloom, which is a setting. Ridiculous. Performance improvements, enabled headlight shadows, LED changes, reflection changes, added 3 new camera changes like closer, normal, further.
To give credit where credit is due, this is TotalBiscuit's 25-minute rant on how ridiculous this is, where he figures the only 2 conclusions for why Ubisoft might have turned off all of these settings. Because he's sitting here playing the game with everything turned on, getting about the same performance that he was without all this stuff turned on, when the theory, in your mind, is that more graphical fidelity is supposed to make the game run worse unless they're intentionally handicapping it. So he comes up with 2 conclusions. Number 1 is gross incompetence, and number 2 is that they're liars. And those are basically the only ones that I can come up with too. So anyway, keep going. I'm just going to let them watch TotalBiscuit play this game because he's a good guy. And this is a pretty good video about how stupid this whole situation is.
Yeah, so they added all that stuff. They also added stuff like lens flare, lighting changes, civilian density, tons of stuff. And there's even more stuff coming on the way that they're planning to improve. And because they've broken into it this far, I expect actual full mods to come out at some point, which aren't just turning things on. Which, like, this is still absolute. I'm not trying to downgrade what CADS8 and the worst are doing. I'm just saying it could be different from there. Then people started freaking out because there was a Softpedia article with a quote from Ubisoft talking about Far Cry 4, saying that Far Cry 4 on PC at maximum settings will look the same as it does on consoles. So...
And their claim here, so their BS claim is, oh yeah, well we devved it on the PC, and then we just like plugged that code into the current gen new consoles, and it like ran so amazing that everyone's gonna have the best experience regardless of what was that? As stunning as next gen console games are starting to look. No, wait, no, that's Forbes, right? So even out of the box, even day one, we just stuck the code on the new consoles and we were able to dial it all the way up. So as a console player, you're already getting by far the best version we can ship. Can ship?
Also known as they went through and scrubbed their code this time, took out everything that mentioned anything about PC, turned, like, instead of just turning settings off, completely removed them, and then went, yeah, that's what you're getting.
So, to make matters worse, I don't know if this is actually in your notes, but the word on the street is that the Watch Dogs performance patch that was supposed to come at the beginning of this month is going to disable the hack.
No, I had never heard of that.
Yeah.
Really?
So basically, Ubisoft just keeps on digging.
Is that actually like a really good source that's from?
I'm going to have to double check. I'll tell you what, I will double check right now. But
okay, I can go into the rest of what Ubisoft's response was. Modders are usually creative and passionate players, and while we appreciate their enthusiasm, the mod in question, which uses those old settings, subjectively enhances the game's visual fidelity in certain situations, but also can have various negative impacts. Never seen any of those.
There's a little bit of headlight flicker that TotalBiscuit noticed.
Oh no.
He's even said it wasn't a big deal. And
yeah,
if there's someone who's going to criticize like graphical fidelity,
it's going to be TotalBiscuit.
It'll be TotalBiscuit. So there's that.
Those could range from performance issues, nope, to difficulty in reading the environment, nope, to potentially making the game less enjoyable or even unstable, nope, and nope. So nothing that they've claimed has actually been like perceived by anyone. So what they're trying to save people from doesn't exist, and that's frustrating. Then, jumping over to the Far Cry 4 thing, apparently the Softpedia article is not a very good article because of misquoting and other kind of stuff like that. So if you ignore that, the Ubisoft Montreal creator, that's when they start saying like, oh, we just dialed everything up and it looked amazing. That makes me not necessarily think that the Softpedia article was even necessarily a misquote. I think it was just in the way that they used that. I guess that's technically misquoting, but it's like it's still the truth. Just because they quoted it kind of in a weird way doesn't necessarily mean it's wrong. Because there's no way you're just like, oh yeah, we devved everything on PC, didn't test anything on consoles ever, and then plugged it in, and it just everything went to max. That's not how that works.
I gotta wonder how the devs feel. You know, the ones that actually care about delivering the best product that they possibly can.
That like group of hardcore guys which are actually super badass and made all the settings and stuff for Watch Dogs and then just had them all turned off. Yeah, that's gotta suck.
And you gotta wonder.
And they're probably under some sort of agreement, so they can't say shit.
You gotta wonder how intentionally gimped the performance is then, if they were able to enable all that stuff and have it run basically the same. Yeah.
I don't know. I've had people message me telling me that we shouldn't do benchmarking videos early.
Well, that's the only way to get views. It's one of those things where should you review a game early or should you wait till the first patch? Well, if you review the game right out of the gate, then people will watch your video, and if you review after the first patch, you might have a better gaming experience, but...
But at the same time, ship your game properly.
Yeah.
like release your game so that it's playable. If we review performance of your game right out of the gate, that'll give people the benefit when your game performs really well right out of the gate, how it should, of having a very good performance review from us.
Okay, here we go. So the mod still works. You just have to unpack the files and then repack them with the new patch.dat. Okay, so the worst mod still works, but the patch does disable it, and also apparently doesn't fix the stuttering issue while driving. So
thanks, guys. You just made it slightly more annoying for no reason.
Like, yay.
Luckily, that's still way easier than modding things like it used to be. So, I don't know. That's
I guess this makes the modding community's job in general easier. Like, imagine how quickly they could do those GTA mods if the developer just did all the work and someone just had to dig around in the code and turn it on. It's kind of like how overclocking's gotten so much easier over the last few years. You just press the OC button. It's going to be like, just press the, like, mod button.
Oh, yeah. These are the PC settings we didn't turn on. There you go. This should just be on the launcher. There should be like this is made for PC, but if you actually want to play it as if you own a PC, make sure you click this button before you load the game. It's just like, okay, click. Thanks. Fantastic. So yeah, everyone hates Ubi. And then there's a bunch of stuff that's been going around that didn't get quoted up here for some reason, but I still have it down in the bottom. Where's that Twitter thing? Ubi Tessa.
Oh, this is epic. Okay,
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me bring this up. Because, I mean, their PR department, in their defense, I can't imagine that they know what to do or what to say at this point, but this wasn't it.
Yeah, so I was worried that it was edited, and then I noticed the picture was different, so I freaked out a little bit, but it looks like it's the same.
Okay, so here's a tweet from Below. In a tweet a couple of months ago, you said Watch Dogs graphics were not downgraded. Do you still hold this to be true? I recall replying saying that the game was not downgraded. I still stick to that, yes. Wow.
Yikes.
It's like, yeah, Tessa, this is from Ryan. Tessa, you might want to put your foot in your mouth here. I don't think that that's actually what putting your foot in your mouth means, Ryan. You did very well, though. But basically, you guys are all over the front page of Reddit. I don't envy your PR team right now.
I'm surprised they didn't get them to turn it off.
I'm surprised that they issued a statement at all. I'm surprised that they didn't just wait quietly for this to be swept under the rug, where the hardcores were going to remember it and mostly people would forget. Unfortunately, they've added so much to the fuel to the fire that, again, I'm going to bring up TotalBiscuit. But check this out. WTF is Watch Dogs. So the Watch Dogs review, 850,000 views from 3 weeks ago. The Was Watch Dogs on PC Handicapped on Purpose video from 3 days ago, 520,000 views. They are letting this spin out of control, and they are adding fuel to the fire by denying it publicly instead of just addressing it and promising to the community to issue an official patch that turns everything back on. There is no way to fix this at this point other than shut up, and that doesn't really fix it because lots of people will still be mad, or just go full on, look, our bad, we're sorry.
Which, you know what, that probably would have worked.
That would have definitely
Honestly,
worked.
the gaming community, like, if you shake their hand and pat them on the back a little bit, they're usually cool.
Yep.
They'll get super pissed and they will literally try to murder you. But if you're like,
Literally
hey,
try
let's
to
be
murder
friends.
Not literally.
There's been attempts.
Well, okay.
There's this quote by Sebastian Viard. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Watch Dogs can use 3+ gigabytes of RAM on NG consoles for graphics. Your PC GPU needs enough VRAM for ultra options due to the lack of unified memory.
Who is this?
Sebastian Viard.
Oh, excellent.
It's like, okay. Then where's the... I don't know exactly where it is, but I just wanted to bring up there it is. Gabe N.
Oh, okay. Can you show me where that is? Because it's not actually helpful for you to bring things up on your screen.
It's here. That's why I'm highlighting it.
Okay. There we go. So here's the quote from Gabe N.
Here's a little quote that everyone in the gaming industry needs to remember.
Yeah.
Don't ever, ever try to lie to the internet because they will catch you. They will deconstruct your spin. They will remember everything you say for eternity. It's like, yeah, they will.
So changing gears, EA has actually done a couple of things this week that are looking pretty positive. So the original poster on LinusTechTips.com is Rafi or Rafi or anyway. And EA says they have plans for how they intend to change the way they make games. So the original article here is from PCGamer.com, and this is right from the CEO, although based on some of Ubisoft's CEO's statements about the whole Watch Dogs, Far Cry 4 nonsense. I don't know. Does a CEO have more credibility than a PR? I don't know.
Is he just glorified PR?
Hard to say. So last year, EA was voted worst company in America. I think wasn't that 2 years ago? Anyway, the point is, yeah, it's happened a couple of times. So CEO Andrew Wilson says the new mandate at EA is to ensure its games are functional and fun at a much earlier stage in the process than it has in the past. They want to be more rigorous about ensuring quality control throughout the process, and they want to be willing to delay a game's launch when it's necessary. We have now said that there is no alternative. If the build is not playable, you have to push the schedule until it's playable again. That's great. An example of this sort of new approach is the beta for the Battlefield Hardline that went live earlier this month. And they're saying that they want to do earlier betas to get real play testing done at an earlier point in the process so that when the game does actually ship, they are able to deliver a much more polished experience. The whole, he says, the Hollywood blockbuster mentality of keep all the information to yourself is not something that makes sense in today's world. We can't keep a secret anyway, so we may as well just start talking about it. There are disadvantages to this approach. You look at some of the challenges that Chris Roberts' team has had with Star Citizen, where the kimono's open. They're like, yeah, baby, here's all the bugs that we're working on in pre-alpha. You want to see this crap? You want to see this terrible code? You want to see this unoptimized garbage? And, you know, that turns into uncomfortable stories where they'll give us these internal milestones. Like, yeah, we really want to have it working for this date. And that date comes and goes and it's gone. It's not there yet.
But then because of that, the flack is not as bad.
That's right. Just be honest with people. I had this conversation with another YouTuber a little while ago where they made some comment about, you know, whether or not, you know, sponsorships were okay from a particular company. And I basically said, look, I wear my sponsorships on my sleeve because the way that I see it, if I am upfront with my community about who's giving me money and for what and what we're saying, then there's nothing to hide. If everything I tell you guys is the truth and what we're doing, and everything we're doing is completely above board, it's up to the viewer to decide how they feel about that. Whereas if I were to try to conceal in some way the sponsorships that we have on this show, that makes me a lot more uncomfortable. Where if I didn't feel like I was doing something wrong, I shouldn't have to hide it. And anyway, so that's my take for my personal business on the whole honesty is the best policy thing. Because if I lied to you guys, if I said ASUS doesn't have a relationship with us where they sponsor things that we do, and that involves an exchange of money, you guys are going to dig it up at some point. Yeah, pointing at our powered by the ASUS G750JZ.
Which they're not even.
You guys are going to dig it up at some point, and you're going to throw it back in my face, and you're right to do that. Period. You're right to do that.
And I think the timing for this is kind of awesome because Ubisoft's trying to kind of like shove some things under the rug and ignoring other things and all that kind of stuff. And EA's like, we're going to talk to you guys now.
Good. It's
Whether
the
or not
right
they
thing
actually
to do
it, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's no guarantees. I mean, this is cool. They've added Origin game time, so this is another kind of new thing that they're doing. I think what are they offering? 2 full days of Titanfall for free on PC? I mean, I suspect this is much of a desperation tactic to resurrect Titanfall as anything else. But at least it's the right kind of desperation tactic. At least they're not, you know, trying to, like that whole fiasco with Microsoft paying game streamers to use the Xbox One, but then not allowing them to talk about it. Again, it all comes down to the same thing. Be honest about your marketing attempts. Be upfront. Hey, we need people to play Titanfall. We want to sell this game. Here, try it. You know? you know, here's the
And
first...
this, honestly, it's a good way to do it. And some people have made parallels to the free weekend thing on Steam, and like that's fine. I like that program. EA should have taken that. I hope Ubisoft does as well.
Copying Valve is not a bad business tactic.
No, it's not. They're doing a lot of things correctly. And actually, Uplay, please, God, start working on copying Valve. You're bad. Anyways, this is actually a really good thing. If I didn't own Titanfall, I would have actually probably downloaded it and tried to play it. That's one thing too, is being a big AAA, we sell games for very expensive prices developer, having it so that you can try these things for free a lot of times is helpful. One thing I see with free weekends on Steam, a lot of the time is that it's an old game.
Yeah.
And it's like 80% off plus a free weekend, so you can try it and go, oh, okay, I might as well finish this campaign for $2, and then you buy it. This is kind of different because it's Titanfall. It's a big, fairly new game.
It's a relatively recent game. It's not a $9.99 special in you know, the summer sale.
And like it happens. You get these big games in free weekends and stuff too. I'm just saying not all that often.
So I don't know. I think it's great. I mean, I think it's I don't know that we should applaud it too much because it's not so much a step forward
cool,
as it is retracing the old steps of, remember when we used to have demos for games?
Yeah.
Do you know how many times I played
Xbox
the
demos, original.
Warcraft 2 demo campaign? And like,
didn't that come in like PC Gamer or something?
it was so exciting because the demo had you not be able to build knights or ogres, but you had to fight one in the final battle partway through one of the levels, and you were like, oh, those are cool, I want to make those. You go buy the game. Back when they understood demos.
It's cool. I remember I used to try and get the original Xbox. I almost just said Xbox One.
Yeah, the Xbox
original
One.
Xbox magazines when I had one of those, and like you'd get the demo disc for like Mortal Kombat or the demo disc for whatever, and it was like, oh, this is so cool. I have one level of Mortal Kombat with like 4 characters.
Yeah.
Let's fight for days. This is all we have.
Some demos were too good. The Halo 1 demo allowed you to play Blood Gulch multiplayer.
Oh my god.
Which is like, basically the only map anyone ever needed.
Like the whole game. Okay. That's cool.
When to hold something back.
That map. Probably shouldn't have done that. Although, you know, whatever. If it turns into full sales.
Yeah, I guess there's that.
Yeah, my dad surprised us with our Xbox and Halo, so I never needed the demo disc, luckily. That was cool.
Your dad's kind of a badass sometimes.
He is. Okay, so should we talk about the T-Mobile test
Yeah,
drive
let's
thing?
move right into T-Mobile test drive. So
Also
this was
known
posted
as
by
Loaner phones.
Ryukun.
Ryukun!
Yeah, oh, thank you. That's probably it. Okay, so the original article is from Reuters.com, so we're going to go ahead and pop that open on the page here. But basically, the big headline here is the 1-week network test drive, where they're letting anyone and their dog, actually not their dog, it has to be one per household. Haha, see how
Unless the one goes to their dog.
Unless the one goes to the dog.
A pretty useless demo trial, but...
That would be kind of awesome. Like Bolt style, like dog with like Google Glass and like...
Well, what if you got like a headset thing for your dog that had mobile connectivity, and then you could send it commands through there? So you could be like, come to the living room, and if you teach it like what different rooms' names are.
If you create that game and then you have a demo of it, I will play the demo and promptly not buy the game. Dog Commander
2014 edition.
You know, you just know the Goat Simulator guys
Upstairs
are working
DLC.
on this already. Dog Commander.
Dog Commander Real Life 2014 edition. Upstairs DLC $14.99.
So you can try it for a week, and unless you damage the phone, this is with an iPhone 5S, unless you damage the phone or you, what's the other one? Right, fail to return it within the week, you will not be charged anything. That's pretty freaking cool. But the big one to me, I just signed up for Google Play Music. So the $10 a month all-you-can-eat service, which is just, it's amazing, because combined with the Sonos system that I just set up, I can just be like, I get home, and I'm like, kids music, play in the living room, and my son dances, and like, it's the cutest thing ever.
That's pretty cool.
It's awesome. Anyway, so T-Mobile is now allowing on popular streaming services like Spotify and Pandora you to stream music to your phone without that counting towards your data plan. How much do I wish that T-Mobile was in Canada?
We say this so much, but like seriously, please. Please. I'm not even on contract right now. I just can't pick another vendor because they're all horrible. So like,
You know, there's another new sponsor we have, Ting.
but they're not in Canada
I know,
either.
but they're pretty cool too.
I know they
because
are, yeah.
Everything's a la carte.
Yeah.
And anyway, you guys are going to hear about it in our upcoming Devil's Canyon video.
Well, Nick asked me before I knew that they were coming on as sponsor. He's like, "What do you think about Ting?" So I went on this like little mini rant about how they're I think they're even a Canadian company. They're hosted out of like Toronto or something.
Our rep is based in Toronto.
Yeah, and then but they're not in Canada. And I went through all this stuff, and then he's like, "Oh, well, that's good because they're sponsoring us now." And I was like, "Oh, well, okay, cool. I'm down with that, I guess." Put them on the WAN show. They're not even sponsoring the WAN show. We're just giving them a spot because why not?
Anyway, T-Mobile's whole thing is, if you try it, we think you're going to love it. They've also got that thing where they're incentivizing people to break their contracts by helping pay for that.
Yeah.
And they're proud of the fact, apparently, that T-Mobile customers use 69% more data than Verizon customers. And 100% more than AT&T customers.
Sorry to cut you off. Do you remember Devil's EZZ?
Yeah, of course. He posts all the time.
Even on like NCX forums and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
about physics.
Yeah,
He's the
I
physics
know.
guy.
I know who he is.
It's his son's Peyton's birthday.
Okay.
I just wanted to. I had to.
Happy PhysX to your son Peyton.
Okay, that's it. Keep moving.
Speaking of PhysX, originally posted by Speed Rookie on the forum, the original article is from Tom's Hardware. The word on the street is Nvidia's GTX 880 and 880 Ti are to be cheaper than the 780 Ti. With Tom's byline, or whatever the subheadline, whatever, the bold thing, not all rumors should be believed, and this is probably a prime example.
And yeah, this stems from like some random forum post somewhere, and it's just like...
And it's been making the rounds, and I'm going to back up Tom's here, because whenever the rumors start flying about how much will Nvidia or AMD's new graphics card cost? Will it be cheaper?
Oh my god, it's going to be cheaper!
Will it be more? Will Intel's new CPU be cheaper? Will it be more? The answer is no. The answer is just no. Because it's going to be the same. It's always the same. Every time. The one exception was GTX 680. GTX 680, they blindsided us a little bit in a couple of ways. Number one was that we got a 256-bit chip and they called it a high-end GPU. Number two was that it was $100 cheaper than an 80 class GPU tends to be. So we won ish. The rumors are that the 880 and 880 Ti will be cheaper to manufacture than their predecessors. This much could be true, especially if the rumor that they'll have a 256-bit memory interface are true.
At the same time, it might be cheaper to manufacture, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the price is going to come down, as they say here. Okay. Yeah.
What I'm expecting is that these cards might be, you know, an improvement in performance and design. So of course they're expected to be based on the Maxwell architecture. So what I would expect, based on what we saw with our first Maxwell GPUs, so the 750 Ti, is that we're going to see dramatic improvements in power consumption. Yeah. We're going to see potentially great overclockability. We're going to see better IPC. So we might get similar performance to the last generation flagships, but at a lower cost with a narrower memory interface and better costs.
And if miners were still having a crazy heyday, they might be really interested because the 750 Ti was a very interesting mining card.
Yeah, it was. But that's kind of...
Mining's kind of...
Yeah, you can pick up 290s for like, what, 250 bucks on eBay now?
200, 250 bucks, like sometimes with water block. You're just like, yeah, take it. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, don't worry about it, bro.
Sure.
Anyway, these are expected to start arriving sort of end of 2014, beginning of 2015, but this is all rumors. If we knew anything concrete, we wouldn't be able to say it anyway.
Yep.
Speaking of things that we know that are concrete, this is happening.
Oh, okay. I thought you were doing this.
Why does it look like that? I swear I will murder someone.
That's a lower third.
Yeah, it's a lower third, but it's like broken and it's not transparent, I don't think. Unless. Yes. Okay. Well, I'm going to fix this and then the color!
We look horrible.
Yeah, I don't remember what the things are. I think it's like...
Hello,
you know
everyone.
what?
It's
Let's
1970.
Let's just do like...
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
We're Hulk.
Bump up that saturation. Hold on. I got this. Woo!
Ah!
Because that, my friends, is how crazy awesome this event is going to be. This is the first major collaboration. Why do you keep showing off that Firefox logo?
I wanted to see the thing. Look how pink it is.
Yes, you love Firefox. We get it.
Actually, I'm getting a little bit frustrated with
Me
Firefox.
too. It's been crashing a lot for
Yeah, it
me.
has.
Like, a lot.
And there's been other issues.
Anyway, so, yeah, it logs me out of our forum all the time.
Yeah,
I've had to
there's
stop
a lot
using
of
it.
things going on, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so anyway, HighLANder is the first major collaboration between LinusTechTips and Tech Syndicate. We will be climbing Mount Elbert in Colorado sometime next week. You guys will get content. You're going to get vlogs. You're going to get an official video. It's going to be fantastic. I will be there. Logan will be there. Kane will be there. Luke will be there. Edsel will be there. Brandon will be there. Albert, of former Tiger Direct affiliation with Logan, will be there. Their new guy Jimmy will be there. Paul from Newegg will be there. Kyle from Newegg will be there. And Austin Evans!
Hey, guys.
Will be
I'm
there.
on a mountain.
Freaking everyone. Hey, guys, I'm on a mountain. I love it. Oh, he's such a good guy. So it's going to be freaking awesome. You guys need to be excited. It's going to be awesome. I want to give a big shout out to our sponsors, though. We couldn't do this event without ASUS, Intel, and Corsair. They are going to be providing the sweet gaming machines that we are going to be using to have the world's highest elevation terrestrial LAN party. They are providing the RGB keyboards that we are going to be using to play games on aforementioned notebooks. And of course, the whole thing has Intel inside, because that's how this whole thing works. Without the CPU, not a whole lot happens. All right, moving on to our next sponsor.
I want everyone to tweet Austin with, "Hey guys, I'm on a mountain."
Hey guys, I'm on a mountain.
I just want to see what he does.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so this is kind of fun. I want you guys to do something with me here, and that is, I get a lot of feedback from people who like Squarespace. Okay, so we'll do a quick run through. Squarespace, fast, easy way to build a beautiful website. It's inexpensive. Their service is 24/7. Basically, they're a great supporter of us and what we do, and we love them. LinusMediaGroup.com runs on Squarespace, and since we set it up, we literally haven't touched it.
I'm working on building my own with no communication to Squarespace that it's actually me.
Really?
Yeah. It's going great so far.
Okay.
That's all I really have for you. I haven't done a ton on it, but everything that I've done is awesome. I hope I can... I haven't tried to get down to, like, bare code yet, but I'm hoping I can at some point, because there's a few things I want to edit that are a little bit more specific.
So we get a lot of feedback from our viewers that, hey, Linus, thanks for the Squarespace thing. It's absolutely fantastic. But what I want you guys to do is I want you to use hashtag LinusSquarespace, and I want you to actually tweet your own Squarespace sites. Now, there's more to this than just tweet your Squarespace site at me and we're gonna show it on the show here, because we are gonna do that. The real trick is actually that someone who tweets that hashtag to us anytime in the next couple of weeks, so we're gonna run this again next week, is going to win their Squarespace site for a year.
Whoa!
Yay! That time you were pretending, because I know you knew about this.
No, I didn't.
Really?
Why? No one tells me anything. I had no idea.
So you can win your website to be completely hosted by Squarespace for a full year, and anyone who creates a trial website, and that's free, can qualify as well. So guys, go ahead, start creating your Squarespace sites, and we are going to pick one lucky winner. We're just going to do a random draw between everyone who submits their websites, and we will give you your website for a year. Well, Squarespace will give it to you. We'll just act as the conduit for them giving it to you. What did I say? Hashtag LinusSquarespace. So you guys want to go ahead and do that. And in the meantime, I'd love for... Hey, look at this.
There's
all right.
already websites.
I created a free website with Squarespace. So we've got... oh, no, I don't think we have any new ones. So in the meantime, we're going to move on to our Ask the Expert live stream, which is... Really? No, E3 was last time. Okay, well, whatever. Ask the Expert live stream. It's coming next week. We are going to have one of the... let me see, actually. I can't quite... You know what? I'm just going to bring up the forum thread. because I think that'll work better here. This is going to be pretty cool. We did this a little while ago with one of their technical engineer guys on the SSD side when they launched the 730, and I don't know if you guys tuned into that live stream, but it was really, really good. We got a ton of insight into things like this guy worked with the team that launched the original Extreme Edition, and he was talking about that and just all these behind the scenes, like crazy cool things that go on. So this time we have a product marketing engineer on the CPU side of things. So you're going to want to go ahead and there we go. Check out this thread. It's called Talk to the Product Marketing Engineer. I think I had asked Nick to call it Ask the Expert, but whatever. Live chat and giveaway. You're going to want to tune in. We're going to be talking about behind the scenes, how Intel's Devil's Canyon CPUs came to be, and we are going to be giving away 2 Devil's Canyon CPUs. So that's going to be pretty freaking sweet. So head over to LinusTechTips.com. You know what, I'll go ahead. Actually, if someone... No, I'll do it. I'll post this in the Twitch chat. I can never trust other people's links in the Twitch chat because people do bad things in the Twitch chat. I love you people, but you do bad things. And there is no point denying it.
No.
No, there really isn't. All right. Hey, look at this. We have...
the Twitch chat is like that friend you have in high school that you don't want to tell your parents about. Because they'd be like, stop hanging out with bad people, but you love them because they're awesome. But they do those bad
Look at that! We have at least one Squarespace site to show you guys. So this kind of shows you how you can use their templates to create something that's attractive looking without spending a whole ton of time on it. So here they're using it as a showcase for their videos, but you can do a blog, you can make a store, you can... What are you even doing? Or is that too early to review it?
Honestly, I just wanted to grab the URL, luclafrene.com.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just going to put it somewhere so it doesn't look like I'm just camping it. And so I'm just going to make my own random thing.
Is it going to be grad pictures of you? Because I heard a rumor that those were floating around.
No, it won't be grad pictures of me. Did I tell you about that? I must have told you. But now people are going to look. Why did you do this? You're a jerk.
And that was ever not a known quantity to you because...
This is because I teabagged Yoshi, wasn't it?
All right, let's move on to... And yes, by the way. Let's move on to the big Linus Tech Tips related news. So we're not even going to share the screen with this news because it is way too badass. Welcome to the new LinusTechTips.com. Do you wanna walk them through this?
I need a browser that works for a second.
Are you in Firefox?
Look, I don't know what happened to this computer.
Because that was
but look,
pretty broken. Oh, okay. Is
like,
it a Zoom thing?
No, there's an ad takeover.
Oh,
it was on Twitter and stuff. I was wondering if Twitter started pushing ads to people.
Oh, brilliant.
Apparently,
okay, well, whatever. Look on my screen. Just walk them through.
Okay, so there's not all functionality is already in here yet.
Yeah, it says beta. Just
yeah.
throwing that out there.
So I'm going to go through how things are kind of supposed to work. So this main big slider where you guys see GPU miners crash of 2014 and other things constantly rotates. You can pause it though, and you can manually select next or whatever. If you click in the black space, that also goes next, but if you click read more or click on the image, that will bring you to the article. There's some like teaser text that will go under the title so you can see a little bit about what the article's about. That I've just filled in a couple of them right now because I just wanted to get the site live.
So basically if you click on things, oops, there's a bit of a bug where it kind of apparently does that. Let's click read more.
Oh god. Oh god.
Okay, well this was working not that long ago.
This was working like literally before the show started.
Well, whatever. It's supposed to go to the article. Why don't we click on one of these to get to an article?
I think it's because so many people are hitting it.
Oh.
So it's going next because that's loading on your computer. It's not going to the article because it's lagging so hard. That actually makes sense.
Right.
See, there we go.
Okay, so the article page has also been revamped. The cool thing about this, guys, is check this out. So here is where the person who posted it, in this case it was Rafi, whatever. Here's where their post goes. Here's where the original source goes. And here is where quotes go. It's just a stylistic change to what is actually a forum thread.
So the discussion that goes under it can be commented on the front page or the forum, and it all comes together in one thing. This is essentially just a more stylistic version of browsing the forum where we can feature different topics. So like right now, it's mostly all stuff from tech news and reviews, but there's also stuff from Hot Deals because we're showing the Steam Summer Sale thing that was posted in Hot Deals. So anything that's like a really big deal, very topical thing could potentially be pushed to the front page.
And you can see over here, there's more places to see other headlines. We've left some space below the fold where we can put some ad placements potentially. But in general, I mean, we're going to be sticking to the LinusTechTips.com strategy of not inundating people who visit with ads, no matter who they are. So it's great if people choose to become contributors so they don't see any ads at all. But in general, we don't want to... A lot of websites actually design their website around optimal ad placements.
We designed our website and then we're like, wait, where can we put these? So we'll figure it out.
This slider down here works by clicking side to side.
Yeah, and the idea is that the big main slider will eventually be the newest 4 topics.
Yep.
And then the lower slider will be the 8 topics after that, and there won't be any overlap. Right now it's all overlapping and there's 8 total.
And then of course we've got featured videos, so we're going to have the latest Linus Tech Tips video as well as the latest Fastest Possible video, so people can check those out. We'd be kind of stupid if we didn't try to feature our videos on our website. Yeah. And then this feature is one that Luke told me was impossible, but then it turned out that if I hit him hard enough, it actually can work really well.
It's like this cascading layer of hitting. It's like you hit me, and then I flop forward and just go and hit Catman, and then things happen.
So
yay.
Basically, Trending Topics is a great place to check out whatever's a hot discussion on the forum right now. So we've got AMD teasing something, we've got a troubleshooting thing, we've got Ubisoft talking about the whole hidden graphics thing, we have the summer sale, and we've got just a discussion about what would you guys like to become standard in PC hardware. So the algorithm behind this is surprisingly simple, but I think it does a great job of bringing some really cool featured topics up to the front.
I thought you were just gonna... Okay, we're good. Then there's featured builds at the bottom. I know we've been somewhat semi-ignoring build logs of the thing for a little while.
So we're putting it on the front page of LinusTechTips.com.
Yeah, and then we are doing the monthly thing. Yeah, it's
stay
gonna
tuned
be
for that
next week. I know it's like super crazy late, but we're still gonna make it this month, and then we'll be good to go in the future. It's gone right now because it doesn't work.
Okay, I'll explain it. Yeah. Okay, so basically, guys, over here, you just go to the latest news. Our shows is a drop down that has these broken graphics.
Yeah.
We're gonna add Channel Super Fun. We're going to fix those icons, all that kind of stuff. This is the main
page will load.
This is the main articles page where you can just view whatever were the most recent articles. There's also another view here for trending topics. We're going to add another thing that's maybe a further decay of the most recent topics, but that is text so that it can be a little bit more dense. And then we are going, this community link takes you to the forum, and we are going to add a little cog right here that will change your default to whichever you prefer. LinusTechTips.com homepage or the forum main page.
So if you are one of the forum guys and don't want to see this ever and don't care about it, you don't have to.
Yeah. We're all about choice.
Yeah.
We think it's great.
Yep.
We think it's a really cool way to interact with what's going on the forum. But if you totally disagree...
That's cool, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So that cogwheel will be changeable somewhere else on the forum as well. So if you do it once, it's not like you can never go back. We're going to work on a few things. Like we've had some comments about navigating between the two can be a little bit confusing.
Yeah.
So we're going to work on a few things like that. Like it's definitely beta. There's definitely still a bunch of things to do. But I'm going to try and keep the articles at least pretty recent for now while we're still working on things. So it's usable. And then once we go fully live, the articles should be rolling, because that's going to be the main thing. And
at some point, we're going to be working with the community to have the articles actually be whatever the community picks. So we're going to take some, whether they're appointed or whether they're, however it works, we're going to take some of our top contributors and have them start being able to basically push their articles to the front page.
Yeah, I have a few,
few people
that I kind of think we'll already be on top of that. But
Yeah.
we'll see once that actually starts becoming a thing.
So very much by the community, for the community. We think it's really cool. We hope that you guys do too. And there you go. That's what we've been... This has been in the works for like 8 months.
Really long time.
Really long time.
It's seen a lot of iterations.
Yeah, the original design got completely redone. And I think this is a good opportunity to give a huge shout out to Catman on the forum for the hours of work that he did to help us build this front page. Just all the thumbs up. Like if I had more thumbs.
Yay.
These are my hiking boots that I'm breaking in for our hike. Anyway, so what's our next topic? I don't even know. Do we have more topics? What do we even cover on this show?
I don't know. We have more topics, so we have tons of stuff in rapid fire.
Steam sale.
And we can also talk about all of these things.
Yeah, let's talk about the Steam sale. So...
Have you bought anything?
No. I think they're running into a real challenge here.
Yeah.
You and I were talking about this before, so why don't you try to work your way through the topic in a coherent manner?
So Steam sales have been going on for a really long time, and I don't think they were coming as fast as they used to.
Yeah, summer sale was like...
the big thing.
In the
and
summer.
Then now there's like summer sale and winter sale and Friday sale and like every sale you could ever possibly imagine. So now we get to this summer sale and everybody's freaking out and posting GIFs that are very old about the summer sale, which I found kind of applicable to my point, that it's a lot of the same stuff is on sale, and actually for a lot of the same sales. So a lot of things that I'm seeing go up, like there might be one or two that are fairly interesting, but then a lot of them are just like, yeah, this has already happened. I already have this game because I bought it at this price a year ago.
So I'll take a little bit of my product management experience and sort of talk about this. One of the biggest challenges is retaining customer excitement. So I worked at NCIX for 5 years. I was a product manager or category manager for about 3.5, 4 of it. And NCIX's sale promotional cycle is every Wednesday night, a new weekly sale launches. And the weekly sale can have CPUs or video cards or fans or whatever else. And the idea is that at least some of those items need to be crazy and enticing, because otherwise you don't generate that excitement and that buzz and that hype that truthfully, even online, even compared to, because in retail, you talk about a loss leader, where the idea is to get the person into the door and sell them something else. Even online, getting someone onto the website is a huge part of the battle, and then if they buy that CPU that you're discounting below cost, they might also buy a motherboard, and they might also buy a video card. And I mean, in the IT industry, the margins are so slim that doesn't necessarily help that much. But the point is that loss leading works, and creating excitement helps to build the relationship with the customer because they get excited about what you're doing. You look at how well Valve does that. They create this excitement and this basically worship of their sale. And what happens is that eventually you run into a couple of roadblocks. Number one is that you can only drop prices so low before it starts to erode the margin and devalue the product to the point where customers aren't willing to pay more for it anymore, and then you can't support your business.
That's starting to happen.
And that is starting to happen. Number two is you run out of new interesting things to erode the margin on. And as long as there are, indie devs spitting out games every week or two, that's going to be less of an issue for PC gaming than it became for IT in the later days of me managing that product, because what happened was all of a sudden Nvidia and AMD slowed down from new graphics cards every 6 to 9 months to now we're looking at 12 to 15 to 18, and you can only discount the GTX 770 to $299.99 so many times before it stops becoming exciting. You need...
Before that starts to become the price that people buy it at.
Yes, you need new products to discount. Okay, so that's problem number two. And then problem number three is that... I guess that's pretty much it.
So we look at this, and to reinforce your point...
Sorry, problem number three is, because of the weekly sale approach at NCIX, we ran into this issue where from week to week, the complaint was, oh, it's always the same things on sale. And we'd kind of go, well, shit, man. What do you want us to do? There's no new graphics card. It's kind of like when people complain about LinusTechTips not having a bunch of motherboard videos, and I go, shit, man. A motherboard hasn't been released in 6 months. What do you want me to say? I'm going to go cover old motherboards? Yeah, that'll work.
My biggest thing for NCX would be like, it would be some themed sale, and then I'd be like, there's nothing following this theme.
But the problem with...
I get it. It's
okay,
just, yeah.
so Valve is running into that frequency increasing, margin eroding, and not enough new products issue. But the problem is that you can never backpedal. I couldn't count the number of times that the product management team would get together and devise a new business strategy that wasn't a weekly sale. And we'd kind of go, okay, let's do this, let's do that, we'll do... Because, you know what's funny is customers ask for it all the time. We want everyday low pricing. And when you do that, when you actually take an entire product line... Look, we experimented with it, I did it. I would take an entire product line and I would discount it to the target margin of a weekly sale item, and I would just put it up on the website. Sales go like this.
It's not exciting.
You have to discount, and you can't stop discounting once you've started doing it, so you end up in this trap. And that is what I guess we were trying to say we feel like is happening with the Steam sales.
They still have those pull items, though, that you're talking about, like Witcher 2. Yep. The Enhanced Edition for $4, 80% off. That was a huge, like, I saw people talking about that everywhere. But then there's also a lot of games on here that are just like, yeah, man, I've seen it at that price like a whole bunch of times.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is, as a product manager, I'm telling you guys, you got to be realistic in terms of your expectations. Valve won't be able to keep it up forever.
I think they will, but it's not going to be like the summer sale from like 3 years ago.
It's not going to be like it was.
Yeah.
And people will yearn for the old days, and what they have to understand is that there's no going back to the old days. There's no going back to the days of Intel and AMD leapfrogging each other every few months with newer, higher performing, more exciting CPUs. That's never coming again. Until maybe, I don't know, quantum computing or something. Like, yeah. It's gone for now.
Pentium K is pretty freaking cool.
You know, it's the same thing with cell phones, you know? We're on year-long scheduled release cycles with the big guys, with iterative improvements that really aren't bringing a whole lot new to the table. Be prepared to be less excited. I think a lot of journalists who were disappointed with the Galaxy S5 had unrealistic expectations. Honestly, I thought the Galaxy S5 was just fine. It didn't blow me away, but then neither did the S4 because I guess I just don't care that much. But they did some things that I thought were pretty great. I thought the fact that they still have a plastic shell, but the flex is much less, was really good. I had a different set of expectations for the S5.
Yeah.
Speaking of discounting and having room to bring prices down, Apple now has a cheaper iMac. I think this is interesting for a number of reasons. I think it's amazing that Apple gets away with introducing new desktop computers that have 1.4 gigahertz mobile dual-core chips in them and 500 gig like mechanical hard drives for $1,100. I think that's amazing, and they're basically geniuses.
But this is the thing you're just talking about. They can't go back now. They can no longer have a not super cheap iMac.
But at least they've left themselves room to upgrade it. They can add a quad core. They can go SSD, and they can put in discrete graphics. So that takes care of the next 3 generations of incremental improvements to the 21.5-inch low-end iMac.
One thing that is surprising to me is it looks identical.
Yeah.
So you can still get the, like, I have an iMac.
So you can still have, I mean...
I'm trendy.
Our viewer base and our forum community tends to kind of hate on Apple a fair bit. But let's be honest, guys. Industrial design costs money. The same people who are drooling over how beautiful the One M8 is and talking about how great it is and it's, you know, fantastic that an Android phone has such great design are the same people who are going to call an iPhone worthless. When that stuff costs money. Having good build quality and good industrial design costs money. And Apple does some things right. They put great screens on their machines. Am I going to buy one? No, because I know where to buy a good screen that doesn't come attached to an Apple computer. But for a mainstream user, it's not a terrible choice, and it's nice to see them delivering something that I think fits really nicely into a niche. I think someone like my dad, would be just as this would be just as suitable for him, plus an SSD, because I think everyone needs an SSD. Someone like my dad could use this computer, and it would be just as adequate for his needs as a $3,000 gaming rig, with the other argument being that you could also build a $500 PC that would work for it as well. So there's that. Different strokes for different folks. Speaking of strokes, hard drives. You can short stroke them, and we didn't short stroke it, but we did take a hard drive and test it against an SSD.
Oh,
I was
like, what is this segue?
The worst segue ever!
It worked, though. We got there.
We got there.
We did make it.
It's all about getting there. That's what she said. Anyway, so unlike every other SSD versus hard drive test that I've ever seen, where they take a completely sterile, brand new OS, put the latest drivers, update all the Windows updates, put on their benchmarking applications, and then test an SSD versus a hard drive. And you'll see metrics like, oh, the SSD took 11 seconds to boot, and the hard drive took 16 seconds. And the people who don't get it, the people who don't understand the value of an SSD, look at that and go, yeah, it's okay, I can wait 5 seconds.
I like that. I like the
even
spread out, lean back.
I even saw some comments on our AData SSD upgrade zombie video where people are like, yeah, SSDs are so stupid because hard drives have 130 megabytes per second and SSDs are only this much. And it doesn't work that way, okay? So, but the problem seems to be in the way that we benchmark them. So, we decided to take a real-world, like, broken OS hard drive. Like, one that's had its operating system running on it for 5 years, got all kinds of crap running in the background, is full, it has, like, a bunch of... Was full, I guess not full anymore. But basically, it has had different bootloaders on it, like...
Yeah, like a few of them.
Has had viruses and has had them removed.
Yep.
The way that a computer actually gets used... And then we cloned that exact OS over to an SSD. So we're showing the worst case, most broken scenario for both, and we tested them head to head. And you guys are going to be wanting to check out the results. That's going to come out sometime. When is that video coming out?
It's fully ready.
Is it ready? Okay,
yeah.
So it's probably going to come out sometime this weekend or early next week. So stay tuned for that, guys.
I think it'll be early next week. It's not edited yet.
Okay.
It's like all the
so
stuff. So
that'll be next week.
The graphs are done. All the footage is shot.
I think it's going to be the video to show the people who don't understand the value of an SSD.
And someone in chat says SSD is just a number. No, it is not.
Actually, it isn't.
This time it is actually not. Oh, man. Where was that other thing? The VR fan. Let's talk about the VR fan. Now, okay,
I have to confess, I didn't read this.
Okay.
So you're on point.
Oh, dang. I was going to try and get you... Because I got this, but I was going to try and get you, like... What are your immediate thoughts upon seeing it?
I did look at it a little bit. So the idea is that it's going to blow air at you in order to make things more immersive, right? I think it's retarded.
Okay. What do you think I think about it?
I think that you probably think it's amazing.
Nope.
Really?
I'm actually totally on your side.
Oh, okay.
And I've surprised, like, almost everyone with that so far. But I, like, at E3, everyone saw me freak out over Control VR, and everyone saw my point about how, for VR to become amazing, we need to immerse all senses.
Yeah.
And that got quoted a few times, and I still stand by that, but we don't need to be worrying about, like, wind force at this point in the game with some, like, random little tiny fan, which is probably not going to feel like it actually is anyways.
For certain specialty...
Like,
cases,
very specific
like that
things.
bird thing.
Like the bird thing.
Where the fan was adaptively making you feel like you were rushing through the air, okay. But it's not the kind of thing that I'm going to... Okay, and if it's just a desk fan that sits on my desk and is just a desk fan, except when I'm like, okay, I'm firing up the Oculus, it's still dumb.
Because you need it to be... Like for the bird thing, when he was flying, the whole fan physically moved.
Yes.
So this thing isn't going to work unless you, like, okay, this is where the fan is, so my head goes here. Because, like, it's gonna have to be positioned perfectly. So unless you're, like, strapping it onto this huge rig that you're building anyways for the one game that it's applicable for, I'm not really sure. And I just, like, it's cool that this guy made this, but I don't necessarily think it's good enough or ready yet, for one. And I'm more worried about stuff like full body motion capture.
Yeah.
Which is like a way bigger deal than the wind. I don't know.
I mean, to me, it feels like, I hope Devil Z is watching. To me, it feels kind of like, especially early implementations of PhysX, where it's a nice to have, not a need to have. Especially, remember games like Gra, right? Where the PhysX implementation was like crumpled paper in tin cans on the ground.
Wrecked.
Right? Where it's just like, okay, so that's there. I totally don't care, and this is totally stupid. This fan is not going to be an integral part of any gameplay in the next 10 years. You can quote me on that.
Well, the bird simulator thing.
That's not gameplay. That's a simulation. It's slightly different, actually.
But still within the same category.
I suppose.
It is a version.
Okay, that fan will not be part of gameplay.
And that's another thing. Like, it has these nice, cool specifics in terms of speed and stuff like that, but it's probably immersive enough just to shove a fan in.
And I said integral part of gameplay.
Yeah.
Like, you look at how long something like
good
PhysX, where Nvidia has had throughout the entirety of PhysX's history, had 60+% market share on the desktop PC. Okay, cards that support PhysX are out there, and yet we still don't have PhysX as an integral part of any gameplay, with the exception of like Cell Factor, which was never a thing. It was a tech demo.
Couldn't you like kick cans and stuff? Wasn't that like a big part of the game?
So, with the 16 people who own this fan, are we expecting a real game developer to build and support? The answer is no.
Apparently, yeah.
Integral part of gameplay.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
I
It's a cool idea, but like he's not getting funded because of everything that you just said. And maybe he does eventually get funded, and I hope like someone picks him up, because that would be cool, because they're doing interesting programming stuff at the same time. And if someone picks him up and makes a way better version, that would be really cool. If someone picks him up and integrates it with another piece of VR hardware, like maybe Omni gets like a ring of them, so that as you're walking around they could all work dynamically, because you're able to plug them in together.
Okay, by the time we're building solutions that are advanced enough for that, like how you and I were talking about how the arcade.
No, that's what I mean, though.
Yeah, might
like,
see a
it would
comeback.
have to be something
But it would be something way more advanced than this.
Yeah. Well,
I wasn't really listening. Was that what you were saying?
Basically.
Good job.
Yeah.
Okay. I was making a straw poll.
Because you can already string them together. So you can plug them together and then they can work together to create the experience. You can already do that. So it probably doesn't work that great, though. So if someone else, what I'm saying is if someone else picks them up and then integrates their fan solution into a much bigger product, and then is able to have them all strung together and make it so that, like an arcade or something, that could be really, really cool.
All right, I have a straw poll for you guys. I'm evaluating options right now. We don't necessarily know what form this would take, but I'd just like for you guys to tell me, would you consider, for your rig, for your gaming PC, buying a LinusTechTips color-schemed fan? So it would just be black and orange, and it would be about 20 bucks potentially. And I can't give any more details. It's something that I've wanted to do for a long time. We were looking for the right partner.
Fan.
Sorry?
It's a high quality. We can say it's a high quality fan.
Well, we don't have the fan nailed down just yet. So I've been trying to do this for a long time. And basically what I want to know is, do you guys even think it's worth the effort? Because to put this in perspective, to buy fans, like I would have to buy them. I would have to buy thousands. So unless there are like hundreds of you who are like, yes, I'll buy one, or I'll buy two, or I'll buy 5, this can't happen. So I need to get some idea if you guys think that this is something that's worth doing. And you can feel free to tweet that at us as well. We'll do a bit of a Twitter blitz about this. If you guys want to go ahead and tweet us. Sounds dirty. Tweet dirty to me. And all the tweets were not related to the fans.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Speaking of tweets that are not related to anything, what the heck is this?
I don't know. I don't know.
Wow. Live shopping us on the stream needs to not be a thing. Someone says, please invest in a lapel mic. That Explorer 3 review was hard to watch with audio like that. What's the Explorer 3?
I have no idea.
Is Alex Hardy confusing us with somebody else? Explorer 3.
I can't even think what that, if that was a typo, what that could be.
Yeah.
Explorer 3.
Anyway, we have a lapel mic. We did do a video recently where we didn't use our lav, and it was because these guys took it to a trade show. So basically deal with it. That's all I really have to say. Yeah, I don't think so. No.
Sonos? No.
Explorer 3. Yeah, no. Anyway, let's move on. So people are saying...
Maybe he meant E3?
Sure.
But
I don't know. People are saying they have brand preferences. People are saying they want LEDs. I can tell you right now, it probably won't be LEDs. And I can tell you right now, they won't be cheaper than $20. I'd buy a fan. I'll buy 6. I'd buy them if they were high quality and kept my PC cool. My build is black and orange. I'm down. I'd make all my fans Linus Edition. Okay, so people are saying sort of yes. I'm getting advice. Don't invest tens of thousands of dollars in fans, Linus. If I didn't invest tens of thousands of dollars in my fans, where would you all be? Not fans of anything we do, potentially. Or maybe you would. Maybe I could have done all of this without hiring people and buying a bunch of equipment and stuff. I'm going back to PewDiePie's approach. Actually, that's something that I meant to talk about on the show this week is news broke. There was a Forbes article about how PewDiePie makes $4 million a year, or at least did last year. I can tell you right now, if it was $4 million last year, it's a lot more than that this year. And there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. I mean, Pewds himself has come out and said that that might be something of an exaggeration. Although I so call BS on that because I know how much money we make. I know how many views we get. I know what a typical CPM is. I know all of these metrics, and that sounds about right. So...
And like, don't even just look at subscribers. Look at how many views and how many videos he pumps out.
And there are a lot of misconceptions. And you look at how many videos he pumps out, and also the fact that it's basically pure profit because he doesn't really have a team of people or really any overhead. It's streaming at a computer. Like he's shown what his game streaming setup looks like. It's nothing really special. There's lots of games, but yeah, aside from that, I mean, I'm not going to be one of those guys that goes, he doesn't deserve it. Because the reality of it is, the way the world works is the people who figure something out and are clever enough to figure it out really well and be the best at something, be number one at anything, are going to be rewarded. I'm not the number one YouTuber, so I'm not going to get that massive, enormous reward. And I'm okay with that. I'm not going to be all, butthurt. Oh, he makes so much money. I'm so unhappy. I say good for him. And people are the other people on the other side are pointing out that he has done charitable donations and raised money for worthy causes and all that stuff. And I think that's great too. I also don't think it necessarily validates if people make a ton of money and then they also raise money for charity. I don't think I don't think that should make people less upset about the disparity between the extremely wealthy and the extremely not wealthy. I just think it is what it is. And that number looks pretty realistic to me. I also wanted to dispel some myths. So there are people out there who think that Google AdSense on YouTube videos is like massive amounts of money. To put things in perspective, Linus Media Group, if it relied strictly on Google AdSense, I could pay each of the people here about $20,000 a year after their taxes and after like employment insurance
that's
and
below minimum wage
pension
right?
pay. Yes.
Yeah.
That's well below minimum wage.
And we all work like massive overtime.
And we all work really hard. I prefer the term really hard. We work really hard.
Gratuitous amounts of overtime. I didn't stop working last night until like 2 a.m.
The point is that that's not the way it works. However, if you do get those kinds of viewership numbers where you look at it and I think his numbers are like
ridiculous,
like an order of magnitude and more higher than ours, then it starts to add up, especially if you don't have a ton of overhead. Another of the misconceptions that I encountered was that YouTubers get paid for subscribers. YouTubers get paid exactly $0 for having a lot of subscribers. The fact that I have 850,000 subscribers on a channel means nothing to Google. Nothing in terms of money. It might mean something in terms of the inherent value of having someone who clicked and said, yes, I would like to hear from you when you produce some new content. There's a value there, but it doesn't translate into money at all. The money comes from the actual views. So if you want to figure out how much a YouTuber is making relative to another YouTuber, then you would look at views, not at subscribers. You could have 1 million subscribers and not be getting a ton of views, like someone like Peter Chow, and the revenue is probably not as strong there unless, you know, he's doing really lucrative brand integrations or things like that. So that's how YouTubers are making the big bucks, is doing things like Devin Supertramp's Watch Dogs, parkour in real life or whatever thing. There's no way that Ubisoft didn't pay enormous buckets of money for that, for example. YouTube, the like couple million views on YouTube were not going to be worth the effort of making that video.
Some people started freaking out that our minimum wage is so high. Just don't forget cost of living expense.
Yeah, Vancouver is an extremely expensive place to live.
Where we live has the 10 most expensive places to buy gas in all of North America. So, yeah, it's kind of expensive.
And food's expensive, and houses are expensive.
Houses, isn't Vancouver also one of the most expensive?
I think it's like number 2 most expensive
I think it's like
place
Vancouver
to live after San Fran.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ludicrous.
It's expensive.
Okay, well, I guess I'll show the results of the straw poll there. So it looks like there are at least hundreds of you who would be interested in a black and orange LinusTechTips themed fan for 20 bucks. I'm still working on it. I really hope that that's something that we can do. It's nice of you guys to, you know, give me your feedback here. I really appreciate that. I'm going to try and do it. And even if people don't buy them, then that's great. But
we can make forts out of them.
Yeah, we could make forts.
We could make a fan throne. Fan throne. We have to make a fan throne.
Sometimes I just hate you.
We should try to make a channel super fun out of trying to make a quadcopter out of not even a quadcopter.
Not even anything.
Infinicopter.
I think we're done here,
Infinicopter.
Guys. What are your plans after the show?
I'm doing an after party, and I have no plans tonight, so I'm doing an after party for like.
Are you playing Mario Kart? Because I want to play some Mario Kart.
Do you want to come play Mario Kart?
Should we go down and play Mario Kart?
Let's go down and play Mario Kart.
Let's go down and play some Mario Kart. All right, badass. All right, guys, peace out. Thanks for watching the WAN show. We'll see you again, same bad time, same bad channel next week. And I hope that you also enjoyed the show as much as we enjoyed making it. It was a blast. And thank you to our sponsors, Squarespace, and then HighLANder, which is Intel, Corsair, and
Oh no.
ASUS.
Yeah.
Oh, I struggle so much.
The problem was because he was trying to go so fast.
And the other one is Intel with that sponsored live stream and the CPUs we're giving away. Stay tuned on Twitter for that. It's going to be
that's actually pretty cool.
Freaking awesome.
And that's like, you'll actually have a pretty good chance of winning those CPUs.
Why is that in the way? Look at him clench. Ha! He's dead. Are we ready to do this?
I actually love that
Bro
one.
fist. I love it too. The zoom in.
Nope, I'm dead.
My singing isn't even. It's like not even close. I don't even care.